What is going on, everybody? Kevin Calhoun here. Welcome to the Calhoun Show. Interesting start. I just spent 3 minutes fighting with the metronome on the editing software, the recording software I use. I'd never had that issue before. I've been using this since, when did I get these new mics? Like over a year ago, well over a year ago I got these. And I've had this software since then. And this was the first time I hit record and in my ear it just starts going tick, 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 tick. I'm like, what's stop? No. So I had to Google how to turn it off, and the first link didn't help, and the second link was a YouTube video, and it took less than 3 seconds. So here we are. It's the Calhoun Show. It is Sunday afternoon, 3:22 p.m. This is going to be one of those Calhoun shows that I'm just going to be kind of popping in and out of the studio during the day, doing parts of the show here and there because I am actually home on a Sunday. I've been insanely busy, which is a very good thing. I'm not complaining at all with all the stuff that has been going on. So it's nice to have a Sunday to kind of relax, do a Calhoun show, chill, talk to you guys, bullshit a little bit. We just put out a couple things, like literally in the last 5 minutes on Facebook and Twitter, saying we're taking questions if people have questions. But then again, it's the middle of a football Sunday. I don't know if anybody's online, might not have questions. Who knows? It's up to you guys if you ask them or not. So my day's not too bad. I stayed up absurdly late because ever since I started learning Photoshop, it's become a really unhealthy obsession, and not in a bad way because I'm using it for good things. I'm using it for a little bit for this show, but I mean we're putting out so many fucking things for KCDC as far as the graphics and things goes that. I was just on my computer last night until probably like 3 o'clock in the morning, just playing with stuff and learning different tools and tricks and all kinds of things. So today, I slept in a lot. I am starving right now. I haven't eaten anything today. So let's do some life updates. Let's do some life updates to start this podcast. Then we'll dive into the sporting world. Life update number 1 is ya boy is back on his weight loss mission here. For those of you that have been around, when I started this podcast, I weighed somewhere around 310, like a lot, like a fat motherfucker. So that wasn't even my highest. That's a guess, by the way. I don't think I had the show started when I was at my biggest. So the biggest weight I was ever at, we'll get to in a minute. So when I ran the 5K, like, I don't know, year and a half ago, something like that, maybe more, I was down to like 278, I think, the day I ran that. And then I got down to like 250, and then even a little past that about a year ago. And then I got into a relationship and stopped working out and stopped paying attention to the things that matter and started paying attention to things that didn't. And now I'm back. Now we're back at it. I've been working on it for the last month and a half or so, ever since said relationship went shitty. And I'm down as of this morning when I stepped on the scale. I'm at 225. And my starting weight, I know I've said it on the show before, but for those of you that are new, was 333. And that ties into more of the personal stuff that has nothing to do with me in a minute. Was the day I found that out. But found it out. I mean, I could see it. But I learned the number a certain day. We'll get to that in a minute. So down to 225. That said, I haven't eaten anything today. So at some point here in a little while, I'm going to the grocery store to buy my boring-ass healthy food. And then I'm going to eat it. And then I'm going to come back and keep doing more of the podcast. So that's the plan. The second part of my personal life updates for you guys is let's dial back to when I found out, or when I first had the balls enough to stand on a scale and look and see what the fuck I had done. I did it because there was a picture of me and Roxy, and everybody that listens to this knows who Roxy is. That's my dog. This was like 3 years ago, something like that. And I see this picture, and we were going in. She was having surgery. It was the day that her front leg, one of her front legs, was amputated because she had cancer. She had like 2 or 3 surgeries on it to try to save it, and it wasn't going to happen, and we didn't want the cancer to spread. And, having the amazing parents that I have, they supported and made it happen. So she had her surgery, and she's been plugging away ever since then. But anyway, I looked at that picture and was like, oh, Jesus Christ, how much do I weigh? And then I stepped on a scale and started getting to work. So that was a while ago. And when my mom sold our childhood house to move out, because, there were a lot of people in the house at one point and then there weren't, Roxy came to live with me. This was probably about a year ago that she fully moved in here. And she is, she's getting there. She's getting, I think, toward the end. And she's been on 50 episodes of this podcast, running around in the background or doing whatever she's doing. So I know, and I know a lot of people that listen to this podcast know me personally, and I know a bunch of people that listen to this podcast know her personally. So, it's been a very rough week. I promised you guys a podcast earlier in the week, and it's been, most of my time here has been spent, whether it's working at my desk here or, taking care of her. She has, she had 2 torn ACLs in her back legs back when she first had the surgery, because, she didn't know how to move, and she figured it out, and she, worked back. Like, the doctors were like, oh yeah, torn ACLs with a dog, they don't feel it. It doesn't hurt them. It just fucks their knees up. They're just not as mobile anymore. It's not worth $1,000 surgery. Okay, sure. So she was dealing with that. And, about 3 weeks ago, her appetite started kind of withering a little bit. And in the last 5 days or so, her movement has gotten a lot worse. She has a hard time getting around. She has a hard time eating food or drinking water and keeping it down. And it's been, and there's other stuff too, as you could imagine, with a dog that's almost 14 years old. Like, she's just having a hard time controlling stuff. So, she's still happy. Her tail wags like crazy. I love that dog to death. And I'm gonna love her until that day, and I'm gonna love her past that. It sucks, and it's shitty to go through, and I'm happy that she's here with me so I can go through it with her. Because, back when we got her when I was 14 years old, and I was 100% the driving force behind it. My brother was 1,000,000% in on the idea as well. But I wanted a dog, and it's been my dog forever. And I'm happy she's here. I'm happy it's not, in the 4 years I was in Pittsburgh, or it's not the first year and a half or 2 years after I moved out of the house that I wasn't living with her. Like, right now she's sleeping in my bedroom. We got up this morning at like 8:00. And the last few days has been very similar to the days before, where she'll get up when she wants to go outside to go to the bathroom, and I know when she wants to go out because she gets up. Like, other than that, she's been sleeping and resting. So she gets up. We make our way to the door. It takes her a little while to get around the house to get there. We get out in the yard. She does her thing, and the last 3 or 4 days, it's been she kind of meanders her way out to the middle of the yard to do her business, and then kind of just when I tell her, I'm like, all right, it's time to go in the house, and every dog knows their phrases. In the house has been her phrase forever, because she had an in-ground fence at the house when we were growing up. She'd run around all the time. If you came outside, hey, in the house, let's go, bang, right in. And I can see it in her face. I really can when I say in the house, and she looks at me like, that's fucking far, bro. Like, I don't think so. And she just kind of stares at me and then looks away, and her tail kind of goes down like she's intimidated by it or scared about it. And we're actually at a kind of a cool point, a silver lining in a bad situation, where the other night I said, all right, I'm going to try something. Now, with Roxy, her whole life, she is not a touchy-feely dog. She's a white lab, or yellow lab. She's white, but she's yellow lab. She absolutely adores people. If your hand is anywhere near the floor, she's going to put her head on it, and you wait until you stop scratching it before she moves away. But, like, growing up, if she was going to sleep on the bed with you, she'd sleep at the foot of the bed, kind of in the corner. Like, she wasn't going to, like, cuddle up against you. She's not going to spoon with you. And she absolutely loathed getting picked up, getting lifted up. as a puppy or as a dog for her whole life. So the other night, I was like, all right, Rox, I'm gonna try this and see how you react to it because I want to make life easier for you. And I scooped her up, and she kind of squirmed for a second, and then she kind of relaxed, and I walked her across the yard and put her down in front of the door so I could open it up. And as I put her down, her tail was wagging. And this morning, as I picked her up, her tail wagged the whole way back to the house. So it was nice. I mean, like I said, this is it sucks, but in the grand scheme, she's 13 and a half. I just heard her shake. She might be up. She might want to go outside. So I might be taking a break here in a second. Are you up? I hear you. Goofball. So we'll see if she comes out of my bedroom. Yeah, she did. Oh, she's in here. Roxy, we're talking about you. The tail's going. She's hopping along. I think she's just going to come lay down in her bed. What's up, pup? Checking her water bowl, which there's none in because she throws it up. I have to kind of pace out her water intake. I have to kind of move it around. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get her a little bit of water. I'll be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. Listen, hold on. You can hear it. Yeah. She's drinking that water. She's enjoying it. Let me get the mic back where it goes. There it is. I realized when I was doing that, by the way, that I never played Patty's music, which is the proper way to start this show every week. So we'll do that in a second. Final life update as Roxy drinks her water in the background. This is perfect stereo. I love this. I got to do some cool stuff yesterday, y'all. So as you know, I got a job with the Bridgeport Sound Tigers of the American Hockey League, the AHL affiliate of the New York Islanders. And originally, I got the gig for what I was doing next door to the arena, which was the Bluefish job, hosting over there. And apparently I did a decent enough job that I was asked to come to the Sound Tigers to do the backup role for the PA and the MC. Now, for those of you that don't know the difference or what either one of those is, and I wouldn't blame you, PA is the guy who is on the loudspeaker in the building. He's going to tell you who scored. He's going to read all the commercials, that guy. The MC is what I was doing for the Bluefish, which is when you're at a game and you see up on the big board the person in the arena or in the stadium or whatever it is with the microphone. They might be playing games with kids as far as like competitions, like the puck shuffle and stuff like that. Doing free giveaways, that kind of thing. So that was my original role coming into the Sound Tigers. It expanded when I proved some kind of ability to do some editing and do some recording and do some filming and all other stuff. So I'm doing other things for them as well, which is awesome because I can add AHL stuff to my resume that way. But I was really excited to do some mic time. And a couple weeks ago during a Sacred Heart University scrimmage, they play their home games at the arena. It's the Webster Bank Arena, if you want to look it up, by the way, in Bridgeport. But I got to do a tiny bit of PA. For that, I did the third period minus goal calls because I hadn't done PA. I hadn't done PA since high school. It had been a very long time, and I'd never done PA for hockey. So I find out last week, I get a text from the full-time PA guy there he's a killer. He's so good. And he texted me. He said, hey, my daughter has a swim meet next weekend on Saturday. Can you do the Sacred Heart game for me? And I was like, of course I can. Absolutely. Can't wait. It's gonna be a blast. And I get the schedule for my normal, work week, what I'm going to be doing for the team. And I get the schedule that says Saturday night, I will be doing the MC for Bridgeport Sound Tigers against Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. And obviously being a Penguin fan, my first time on the mic in the AHL is a Penguins game. That's pretty cool. So I went there yesterday. I did PA for a Sacred Heart game. And I got to tell you, PA, number one, is an absolute blast. It's a ton of fun to do. The echo of the arena and just the pure power of it. And I had a blast. And, that job, especially, in a Sacred Heart game, it's a lot easier than it is for a Sound Tigers game, because with the Sound Tigers, there's about 5 times more ads and there's a ton more reading to do. And I haven't done a Sound Tigers game yet for PA. So when that first happens, that's going to be a challenge and it's going to be a blast. But I had a ton of fun doing it for Sacred Heart. on set, or yesterday, I guess. And then last night I got to do the MC, which is what I don't know which I was more nervous for, because I hadn't done PA in a long time, so I was nervous for that. And the MC job, I spent the entire summer doing that, but our setup was a little different. It's baseball, it's a little more lax. There's less of a time constraint. You know, I have the half inning break. With hockey, you're scheduling it inside TV timeouts. You're also budgeting that TV timeout with other things that the arena is getting done in that time, whether it's advertising or other promotions or things like that. So a lot of it's very quick. Most of the segments that we do, as far as the MC goes, last less than 45 seconds. And a lot of it is kind of, hey, I'm sitting here in section 108 with Bill. Bill is tonight's lucky this, that, whatever of the game. He's going home with this prize and that prize, brought to you by this company, and they have this deal going on. Let's get a big round of applause for this guy. Like that's basically what it is, and that was a ton of fun. It was a lot of fun, and I actually felt super comfortable doing that. And part of doing that was I got to go out on the ice a couple times during an AHL game during the intermissions, which was cool. And we do chuck-a-puck, which, if you've ever been to a hockey game, you know people get like the little styrofoam pucks. They all have numbers on them. You throw them on the ice. If you can get them in whatever you're aiming for, a number of those are selected, and the winning numbers are read off, and you win a prize. So for the chuck-a-puck with the Sound Tigers, what they started doing this year is it's sponsored by a car company located nearby. So they have a pickup truck. And the pickup truck drives around the perimeter of the excuse me, guys. Drives around the perimeter of the rink. So the normal MC, his name's Jeremy, good dude. He skates. Now I don't. I want to learn. It's on my list of things to do. Probably this winter, if there's I gotta look. There's got to be some kind of a rink in Connecticut nearby that I can go get cheap lessons. I have no idea. I'm gonna look into it, but I don't skate yet. So it's not that big of a hindrance, aside from the fact that the ice crew loses one person to help sweep up pucks, and I can't throw t-shirts because I'm not skating around throwing t-shirts. So we had a workaround for the chuck-a-puck, which I jokingly think that Jeremy should never have learned how to skate, because then he could just do this every night, which was me and Storm, the mascot for the Sound Tigers, got in the back of the pickup truck and drove around the ice on the ice in the arena as the people were throwing these little styrofoam pucks into the bed of the truck. And I'm on the mic, yelling, getting them going. And I got to do a couple other competitions on the ice, and I led the t-shirt toss from a safe location, standing on the ice that I can't fall and die running around. So it was overall, it was an awesome day. It was a 12-hour day at the arena, and I can't tell you the last time I had a day that interesting and that fun and that filled with new things. So it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. All right. We are almost 19 minutes into this podcast, and we have not started the show proper. And I'm going to use that term, and only maybe one or two of you will recognize it. That is going to be an ode to the now defunct MVSW podcast, Merrick versus Wyshynski, one of my favorite hockey podcasts ever. Greg got a job with ESPN, so MVSW went away. And I've always said that this show needs to start with Patty's music, but to quote them when they would talk about their open, let's start the show proper, shall we? As always, you can follow this show on Twitter at Calhoun Show and email the show calhounshow@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at KCDC_East or at Shut Up Calhoun. You can like this show on Facebook, subscribe to it on YouTube. Obviously, you've subscribed on iTunes. And if you guys didn't notice, iTunes has changed, or I guess Apple has changed the podcast app. And with the change to the podcast app, rating and reviewing podcasts has become just a million times easier. They made it so difficult to find that function for the longest time. But you can do it now on the podcast app. Just scroll down on Calhoun Show. You can hit 5 stars, leave a nice little review. Help push us, I should say. I meant to say, to new people. And as always, you can leave a voicemail for this show at 860-740-2119. So, as I sit here, one of the things I'm working on is the KCDC leaderboards. Because where we sit right now, the way KCDC operates is on Sundays, the weeks go final. We are in week 13 of KCDC. I am crushing this week on KCDC as it sits right now. And we have some picks going final. I know DC took the Jets against the Falcons. And I took Atlanta. Now, where we sit right now, that was a 1-point game, and it's now 3:45, so it's got to be getting close to the end. I have it on, but I have Red Zone, so right now they're showing a 27-7 game in Philadelphia. Appreciate that. But I'm legit right now 27 of 37 this week on picks, and I got a 4-point lead on actually got people in second and third right now are listeners of this show. Shout out to KM and KG. So I don't know where they're going to finish, but right now they're in second and third, both members of Team East. Shout it out. If you guys want to join, it is free to listen to KCDC East versus West. It is free to make the picks on KCDC East versus West. KCDCEVW.com/picklist, or if you just go to KCDCEVW.com, the website is self-explanatory. It's awesome. You can look at all the leaderboards, including the DC versus me leaderboard. You can look at monthly leaderboards, weeklies. You can see the daily picks that are going out, a weekly pick sheet, and all the standings. Everything's there. It's awesome. And you can also check out, and this is what I would recommend you do first. You can also check out the latest installment of the Lefty League, which is another thing that I worked on this week with DC, which was Lefty League installment number 8. Now, if you don't listen to KCDC, we do a series of events, and I would be talking about this anyway, whether you guys care about this or not. Because it was a blast and it's a fucking funny video and I worked really hard on it. So, Lefty League number 8, DC and I squared off in a baseball competition. We each threw 10, well, I take that back. We each threw 10 good enough to be hit pitches left-handed. And we each swung the bat left-handed 10 times. And there was 3 points awarded if you got in the outfield, 2 past the pitcher, 1 for contact, and 4 if you got it all the way to the fence. You can guess if we made it there or not. But DC and I probably threw, and this is the part of the video that everybody seems to love the most, and I wish there was more time. I made the video's like, I think 7 minutes long. It might even be a little longer than that. And that it seems shorter because it's constant, it's moving, and it's good. And it's funny. And I enjoy it. If I could have, I would have put in the 90 other pitches that both DC and I fucked up. I mean, I threw in, I think, 7 or 8 bad pitches into the video. I could have had 85 more. Like it was so funny. It was throw it and then the batter would go get it. We were by ourselves too. So it was just one still camera and then we'd use the other one here and there. And it was just throw the ball. Oh, that's not good. I'll go get it. Throw it back. Throw the ball. Throw it back. Throw the ball. It was a lot of fun, and the video came out great. And all of this editing stuff I've been practicing and working on, and the Photoshop especially, we have, and I'm serious about this, a complete set of KCDC graphics now set for these videos. Like I have put together all of the graphics to the point where I no longer have to use pre-built graphics by the editing software, which is really nice because the pre-built graphics in the editing software are dog shit. So. It's very fun and very cool, and I think the video came out great, and they're starting to look somewhat professional, which is weird, but I'm enjoying it, and I think you guys would like it. So check it out, KCDCEVW.com. You can see the videos, the pick lists, make the picks with us, all of that fun stuff. So let's dive into what's actually happening in the world, because we've spent 25 minutes on this podcast so far talking about me, which it's the Calhoun Show and whatever, but I wanted to update you guys. So let's talk about actual sports. The NFL's happening right now. My New York Giants are terrible. The NFL is falling apart injury-wise, and the Jets have the ball. Okay, hold on. I'm sidetracked now. The Jets have the ball down 25-20 with 4 minutes to go, although it looks like 4th down. And Red Zone changes it. Appreciate you guys. So the biggest story in the NFL is obviously this Bob McNair story. So Bob McNair says at the owners' meeting the other day, we can't let the inmates run the prison. Now, I understand if you are going to argue, hey, it's an expression, it's a phrase, whatever, move on. Sure. I get that. But if you're in a situation where you know people are listening to you, right? You're the owner of an NFL team in the midst of, oh, the Falcons are going to run it back. Oh, they ran it back. That's another point for you, boy. Love it. 32-20. It's over. Where was I? Oh, yeah, Bob McNair. You're the owner of an NFL team. And I'm assuming one of the main talking points of this meeting, which it was, is what they were talking about, are the anthem protests. And the anthem protests at their base are centered around the fact that, let's simplify it, black people aren't treated equally to white people in some ways. It's what it boils down to, and it's fucking true. So if you want to argue turn phrase, it's an expression, okay, fine. Then the guy's fucking an idiot. Like, he's stupid as hell. If you're gonna use an expression like that and he didn't mean it in a derogatory way, sure, fine, give him the benefit of the doubt, didn't mean it in that way. You still can't say it. You can't say that because it's not funny and the phrase doesn't work. Not there. I get it if you want to be clever. Being clever in that situation, if that's what you're going for, shitty time. DeAndre Hopkins, sat out practice or didn't go to the facility the next day. Don't blame him. I don't blame him. If you just got to look at it this way, because I just picture angry white people listening to this. That's really all I picture. But if your boss said something that offended you that badly, I feel like you'd have a different tune for those of you that were criticizing the best player on that team for the last 6 years for not showing up for practice one day. A lot of criticism for a guy who hasn't done one thing wrong, and the first thing he did was react to an absolute dickheaded statement. Like, that's a weird hill to die on if you're going after DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion. The NFL owners, they're in a weird spot, and I don't know if they put themselves there or if society has put them there because things have just changed and the landscape has changed. But the owners are trying to balance the fact that this is a business first for them. And honestly, if you boil it down, it's a business only. It's what they're there for. And when players do things that upset their business, they're furious about it. And I understand that. And the players are moving around in a way that says the owners have a responsibility to right the wrongs that they are perceiving. Whether you agree with that or not, the owners have a right to say, listen, I own the team. I'm running the team. These are the rules. Move on. Keep going. I get it. If you believe that, I get it. I disagree with it. And I can't say that how I would handle it if I was the owner of a team, if I had millions of dollars on the line. I have no idea. I would like to think that the opinions and the moral stance and the just general good-natured quality to caring about these issues, I like to think that would be prevalent and shine through everything. And I wish that would happen with these owners, but it's a really difficult thing to ask for. And I think that that's something that kind of is getting lost. I think the owners are wrong, but I don't think that their thought process to getting where they are is. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a weird situation. It's a weird situation to be in, and it's one that everyone has an opinion about when none of us are in it. And it's got to be a hard one to balance. But that doesn't open up an avenue to say the things that Bob McNair said. It just doesn't open it. And I'm not saying Bob McNair should lose his team. This isn't a Donald Sterling situation. Like, I'm not going that far. But the guy, he released his statement, and that's all well and good, whatever. But yeah, the guy owed an apology, and it's It shouldn't have been said, and it was said poorly, and it should be rectified, and we should move on. But the apology means nothing if we're just going to continue to have old white men that think that. Honestly, be real about it. If the guy apologizes, he still thinks the same shit tomorrow. I know racist people. I do. I know a few of them. And they are tremendously blind to the actuality of the things going on. There's no learning going on with people like that. They just don't. They don't pick up on social cues. It's just, this is what I think, and this is, and the other part of it is they're loud about it too. Some of them. And I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. It's just, I think it's just stupidity is what I think it is. And I know these guys are smart. They're multi-billionaires, whatever the fuck they are. But they grew up in a different time. Yeah, they grew up in a dumber time. And their old dumb brains that made money when everybody was dumb 30 years ago, does not, the brains don't comprehend the actuality of what we have learned to be better ways. And they are better ways of treating people. You could say, oh, it was better, everybody was tougher. Yeah, but people in my generation care about other people, and a lot of people in past generations don't care about the people that are complaining and protesting. And that's just a fucking fact. So, I mean, whatever. It's been a while since I had a nice little rant on the Calhoun show. That felt good. All right, I'm taking a break for a couple minutes, guys. I'm going to go grab some food because I am dying, and it's 4 o'clock. So I'm going to watch the end of these games. Patriots up 21-13 with not 8 minutes. 38 seconds left. Oh, this is pretty much over. All right, let's stay here. Let's stay here because the Chargers have the ball down 8. 36 seconds. You guys get to hear me watch football for a minute. And I've got Melvin Gordon and Hunter Henry on my fantasy team. So this could be a really good or bad minute and a half. Let's see. Rivers in the shotgun. 2nd and 10 at the Charger 35-yard line. And there's a flag. What a good start. What else is going on? What else did I write down on my... oh yeah, the World Series is going on. I haven't seen a goddamn thing. I watched a ton of the ALCS and the NLCS, but this week has been so busy that I have been watching highlights of the World Series, and the games have been great. The games have been really good. Game 5 happening tonight. The Patriots went offsides, by the way. Game 5 happening tonight. I think this podcast will probably go out tonight. I don't think I'm going to schedule it for the morning. We'll probably just put it out. So... yeah, I mean, this has been a fun series. I had the Dodgers up 3-2 after 5 on KCDC last week. So I have the Dodgers winning tonight, and I have the Dodgers winning the series in 7. I have Kershaw winning game 7. Maybe even out of the bullpen. Who knows? Oh, we're back. 2nd and 5. Rivers drops back to pass. Throws left side. It's caught. Travis Benjamin over midfield. Nicely done. Chargers, 30 seconds on the clock with a shot. If Patriot fans are listening to this and the Patriots went on to lose this game, you guys are probably in hell. And that makes me feel good. So for the next 30 seconds, I'm going to keep watching this game and keep recording the podcast. So enjoy that. They got it up to the 44-yard line. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna throw topics in between plays here. That's what we're gonna do for the next minute. And then I'm getting food, and then I'm coming back, and we'll do more podcasting. 44-yard line, Rivers, 1st and 10, takes the shotgun snap, drops back to pass, looks left, throws left. Oh, he missed him. Missed him. Travis Benjamin. He was open. He could have had it. And, all right, they're quick back to the line here. 26 seconds. Off his hands. Not picked, though. Woo! Oh, that could have gone back the other way. Is that Rashard Matthews? Is that guy's name? I might be making shit up. Who knows? I haven't watched football for the last 3 weeks. By the way, my Giants, good God, they are bad. This is their bye week. They can't lose this week, and it's probably their best performance so far that wasn't in Denver. All right, Patriots, 3rd and 10, 21 seconds to go. Chargers walking up to the line. Hey, Red Zone, how about we not show 50 games at the same time? That'd be awesome. All right, I'm watching the top third of my television right now, which is just ideal. It's perfect. He's back to pass, throws it over the middle. It's caught. Can't tell if that's Ingram or Benjamin with how little the screen is. Damn it, Benjamin. Fucker. It's going to be 4th down, and then we're going. Then I'm going. So I eat the same food every day. I really do. I am the worst human sometimes, and it's because I get obsessed with stuff, and if I don't have a just absurd regiment, I don't do stuff. So I eat the same exact food. I have the same lunch and dinner all the time. It's glorious. But like I said, 15 pounds in a month and a half. So whatever, it's working. I'm not even doing a lot, just like stretching and doing sit-ups and shit. All right, 4th down for the San Diego Chargers. Little Jurassic Park 2 reference. All right, throws it over the middle. Oh my God, they're still driving. He's got it down to the 23. I can't see the clock though. Oh, you know what? This is fucking local. This is a local game. Oh, they full screened it. Oh my God, there's 1 second left. Holy shit. There's 1 second left. Oh, this is good. Oh, guys, we're going through something together here on the Calhoun Show. This is nice. This might be the first ever live ending to a football game on the Calhoun Show. And what are we on? Episode 130. How about that? Yeah, they're showing the replay. He definitely got the spike down before a second. All right. They don't have timeouts, so they're coming up to the line. They're going for this. So 23 yards to the end zone for Rivers. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to turn this up. Let's see. Oh, Iron Eagle on the call. Love that. Throws it. Intercepted. And he kneels it down. What a fucking anticlimactic ending. God damn it. I'm going to get food. We'll be back.
The Calhoun Show.
Bam. Just like that. I'm back. It's 8 o'clock? No, 6 o'clock. Jesus Christ. I was like, what the fuck happened? Yeah, I'm back. 6 o'clock. I ran some errands. I saw my mom, brought her some food, went to the grocery store, got myself some food, and my food is now in the oven. So I have the studio door open because, the studio's in my apartment. And I'm going to be here for 12 minutes exactly because that's how long the timer is for the food. So let's get back to this. What were we talking about before I left? I had the McNair thing. I was watching the Patriots game. That's what I was watching. Well, as it sits right now, 21-21 Seahawks Texans and 14-13 Cowboys over the Redskins at halftime. It's the first time I'm seeing any of these scores because, like I said, I have been running around since I left you guys. So let's, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to wrap this thing up in the next 12 minutes. That's what I'll do. All right, so let's move more around the sporting world. And I'm dying to get Brett in here. That's why I'm trying to hold off on the NBA. I have Brett, and I still have my other buddy that I want to get on the podcast, and I'm kind of just holding off with the NBA until I can do that because, you guys know, like I'm recording so much sports stuff and doing so much stuff now that I don't want to, I feel like I am repeating myself over and over, which it causes a bit of a problem with recording podcasts, right? So I'm trying not to cover the same ground too many times. I'm trying to make sure that while the Calhoun Show is kind of fluid, because I don't have a set day of the week that we're doing this right now, obviously, I'm trying to just kind of keep it lighthearted and fun and bullshitting with you guys. So let's see. I know we had a couple of questions come in while I was gone, so I'm going to pull those up. I literally walked in the studio and hit record. I didn't pull these up before because I wanted to get more recording done, and I walked in the door and made food because I'm hungry, and I still haven't eaten anything, which is making me sad and a little cranky. So let's see here. Looking for. All right, hey, I mentioned him already on the podcast. KG. KG asks what my 3 favorite things about working for the the Sound Tigers. What's your 3 favorite things about the Sound Tigers job? All right, number 1 is easy. Number 1, and it's a feeling I had all summer with the baseball as well. I guess kind of Freudian slip there with saying bluefish. I'm in a time right now where, things are kind of fluid and moving around. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with everything all the time. I've basically been working 2 amazing yet mostly part-time jobs. I mean, this one's taking up more of my time, which is great, for the last 8 months. And 10 months ago, I was in a lumberyard. And 12 months ago, I was recovering from surgery on my arm. So number 1 is easy. There's a spot there where to go up to the booth where the scoreboard is run, which is one of the things that I do for some of the games that I work is run like the Halo scoreboard, the one that goes like the ribbon one that goes around the entire arena. to get into that office, which is where we kind of run a bunch of our shit out of. So I'm there every day that I'm in the arena. I go to that place, and you go. It's on the third level of the arena, like just under the suites at the very top, and it's just got a great view of the rink. And out the back behind you, there's a bay of windows. It's like 30 feet long. It's just gigantic windows. And through those windows is the baseball field. Like right there, like if the window was open, you could throw a pen and hit the outfield wall from behind. And it's just a spot that I stop a lot at for about a second or two and just look at those two things and remember that a year ago I was in a lumberyard. And now, it's whatever time of day it is. I'll look and be like, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm at a hockey rink. I'm working. I'm professionally getting paid to be at a place that is cool. So that's number one. Number two was doing the mic stuff last night. Was awesome. And third favorite thing about the Sound Tigers job, knowledge. I'm learning a lot of shit. Between the Photoshop stuff and I'm a Mac guy. I've had a Mac since my dad got me a laptop junior year of high school. It was a MacBook because that's what I asked for because we used Final Cut Pro in our high school editing classes. And since then, I used Final Cut Pro in high school. I used Final Cut Pro in college. And then post-college, I wasn't doing any video editing at all. And starting with KCDC this year, DC and I started putting videos together. So, the only editing software I have is iMovie. The only program I have that cost money at one point was Photoshop. So I don't have any good editing software. And I've been able to learn some Adobe Premiere, even though I fucking hate PCs so much. Every time I sit down at that editing, I don't like it. But it's fun. It's fun to learn, and the knowledge is good to have. So those are my three favorite things. I had a question on Twitter. I think this was directed to the other account, but that's okay because I'm going to answer it anyway. Which was somebody was talking shit about my my picks at the beginning of the NFL season, and the Green Bay Packers winning the Super Bowl. The question was, who do I have now? If I could re-up, I would honestly love to just go all in on the Texans. And not because I think they're the best team, but because I love Deshaun Watson and they're so fun. And he's so fun that would be one. But I think the Patriots are the favorite. It looks like they're rounding themselves into shape here. Even today with a close game against San Diego, Los Angeles, they still held on. And the Chargers have been good the last 3 weeks. So I like the Patriots moving on. So if you guys want to send in more questions, we kind of gave you late notice today. There wasn't much time. And so if you guys want to get some questions in, I will try to do another podcast within the next week. Hopefully I can at least get Brett in here. I'm going to try to talk to my buddy Andrew and see if he wants to come up maybe on Friday for a podcast, but I'm not sure what the plan is with that yet. But I'm gonna text Brett tonight and see if I can get him in here for some NBA. He was supposed to be in here last week with me, and he had conflict and he couldn't make it, obviously, which is fine with me. We reschedule. I love having him in. So I'll talk to Brett and see if we can get him in. So if you have some NBA questions, if you have any kind of questions at all, Sound Tiger stuff, any kind of, anything. Obviously, we went through some heavier stuff today with the Roxy of it all. And by the way, she's sleeping right behind me, happy as a clam. So that's it. I'm going to go get some food and I'm going to wrap this one here. That way I can put it up and be done with it and have it to you guys before it's too late on a Sunday night. So I know I listen to a ton of podcasts and very, very, very few put anything up on Sunday. So maybe this will actually give you guys something to listen to tonight. So, all right, y'all. Well, thank you for coming back as always for the support. I can't wait for this to be back to a completely weekly installment where I have topics laid out and 1,000 different things to do and all of those things. But Dan and I are working hard, and that's where I'm headed after I eat food, is to go over to DC's house to do prep work for tomorrow's KCDC recording. So if you guys want to get involved with this show, it's at Calhoun Show or at Shut Up Calhoun. If you, hey, maybe you like me because you keep coming back. If you miss me, come listen to KCDC East versus West. It is, it's this show, except way more silly with two of us, and there's a purpose. So it's not this show at all. I'm the only consistent part. Well, actually, Dan's been on the show a bunch of times too, so I guess he's the consistent too. But we're having a blast. I feel like he and I are starting to get some really good on-air chemistry as far as playing off each other and being funny and just trying to make everybody laugh. So, yeah, this week's episode especially will be fun because I beat everybody's ass this week. I don't think I've won an overall week because obviously this is against the listeners too. So at last update, which was 3 hours ago, I had a 4-point lead on McBuckets. So we'll see. I think that's going to hold. I think I'm going to win the week outright. But either way, you guys are the best. I love you all. And I will talk to you hopefully later in the week. See ya.
Thank you for listening to The Calhoun Show. Join the conversation by following the show on Twitter @Calhoun Show and emailing the show at calhounshow@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe and download for free on iTunes. Want to hear yourself on the show? Leave us a voicemail by calling 860-740-2119.